Imagine waking up one morning to find that everything you thought you knew about your life had changed overnight. The person you loved and lost is standing right in front of you, alive and breathing. This is exactly what happens in Season 19, Episode 1 of Heartland, where Ty Borden, the man everyone believed was gone forever, returns to the ranch. Today, we're diving into this emotional roller coaster, exploring how the Heartland family reacts to his return and what it means for Amy and Lindy's future. Buckle up, because this episode is about to take us on a journey of love, loss, and redemption. As we begin, let's set the scene, a peaceful yet melancholic morning at Heartland Ranch. The early sunrise casts a golden glow over the rolling fields, and all you can hear is the soft rustling of the wind through the trees. It's a moment of pure stillness, the calm before the storm. Amy is at the barn, tending to the horses just like she has for years, but something feels different today. There's a weight in the air, a lingering sadness that never fully left her heart. She has built a life without Ty, raising Lindy on her own and finding comfort in the love of her family, but no matter how much time passes, his absence is always there. And then, a truck pulls up near the ranch entrance. At first, it seems like any other visitor, but as the engine turns off and the door creaks open, Jack's heart stops. His hands tighten around his coffee mug. His breath catches, he knows that truck, he knows who it belongs to. Amy doesn't notice at first, focused on the horse, but Jack's reaction is immediate. His face goes pale, his entire body tenses up, it's as if he's seeing a ghost. This leads us to our first mystery box moment. What could have brought Ty back after all these years? Is it a miracle, or is there more to the story? As Ty steps out, he looks different, his hair is longer. His face is weathered, his eyes filled with exhaustion but also a deep, unmistakable love. Amy finally follows Jack's gaze, her breath catching in her throat. She turns slowly, and when her eyes land on the figure standing beyond the fence, the world stops for a second. She thinks she's imagining it, her mind must be playing tricks on her because this is impossible. But when their eyes meet, she knows it's Ty, the man she loved, the man she mourned, the man she thought she'd never see again. Her hands tremble as she whispers his name. This moment raises another question: how will Amy and Lindy adjust to having Ty back in their lives? Will they be able to forgive him for leaving? Lindy, full of energy, runs up to Amy, her little face glowing with curiosity. But when she sees the man standing in front of them, she hesitates. There's something familiar about him, a warmth, a safety she doesn't quite understand. "Mommy, who is that?" Amy's voice is shaky as she bends down to her daughter, tears in her eyes. "That's your father." The words feel unreal, but as Lindy's wide eyes search Ty's face, something clicks. She's only heard stories about him, seen old pictures, but now he's here. And just like that, a family that was once broken is standing together again, though the wounds of the past still remain. This leads us to an even more fascinating discovery: how does the rest of the Heartland family react to Ty's return? Jack, Lou, Georgie, and Tim each have their own mix of emotions ranging from disbelief to heartbreak, from fury to cautious hope. Let's break down their deep and emotional responses as they come face to face with the man they never thought they'd see again. Jack Bartlett has been the backbone of Heartland for years, a man of strength, wisdom, and quiet but unshakable love. For the last several years, he has carried the weight of Ty's absence more than anyone. He was there when Amy's heart shattered, when Lindy asked about her father too young to understand why he was gone. He was there when every single person at Heartland had to find a way to move forward without Ty. And now Ty is standing in front of him. Jack doesn't move at first, his hands, strong and steady, tremble slightly as he grips his coffee mug. His heart pounds in his chest, his weathered face, usually unreadable, is etched with shock and pain. For a moment, he just stares. Jack's voice is low, rough, breaking apart at the edges. "Where the hell have you been?" It's not a question, it's an accusation. Jack's blue eyes are filled with something deeper than anger, betrayal. He had grieved Ty like a son, he had spent sleepless nights comforting Amy, had stepped in for Lindy when her father wasn't there. Now Ty is here, standing alive, breathing, looking at him like no time has passed. Ty swallows hard. He knew Jack would be the hardest one to face. I never wanted to leave, Ty says softly. I fought every day to come back. But Jack isn't ready to accept that answer. His hands tighten into fists at his sides, his voice shakes, but he refuses to let himself cry. Do you have any idea what you did to this family? What you did to Amy? His voice grows rougher. Ty nods slowly, shame and regret in his eyes. I know, he whispers, and I'll never forgive myself for it. The silence stretches between them, heavy and unbearable. Jack breathes in deeply, his shoulders lifting, his hardened expression doesn't soften, but his eyes, they say everything. Jack is hurting, he is angry, but underneath it all, he is relieved beyond words. After a long pause, he gives a single stiff nod. It's not forgiveness, it's not acceptance, but it's a start. This moment leaves us with another mystery. Will Jack ever fully forgive Ty for leaving? Lou stands frozen, her entire body tense. She had been so focused on helping Amy heal, on making sure the family held together. She had seen her sister suffer the most unbearable heartbreak, and now this. Her mind races as her emotions battle inside her. She wants to rush forward and embrace Ty, but another part of her, the part that had wiped Amy's tears late at night, wants to scream. Her voice shakes as she finally speaks. Ty, is it really you? But as soon as the words leave her lips, the dam breaks. Tears flood her eyes as she takes a step forward. 1,000 memories flash through her mind, Ty playing with Katie when she was little, the way he loved Amy so deeply, the happiness he once brought to Heartland, and then the grief. The night spent sitting with Amy, trying to comfort her as she sobbed, the helplessness she felt watching her sister suffer, the anger she carried toward the universe for taking away the one person Amy had ever truly loved. Her sadness shifts into something sharper, anger. She blinks back tears and lets out a shaky breath. You let us believe you were dead. Ty's face is full of guilt, he nods slowly, unable to deny the truth. I never wanted that, he whispers. Lou presses her lips together, her emotions warring inside her. She wants to yell, she wants to hug him, she wants to demand answers. Instead, she simply shakes her head and wipes her tears. I don't know how to feel about this, she finally admits. All I know is that Amy suffered the most. If you're really back, then you need to make this right. And with that, she turns and walks away, because she's not ready to forgive him yet. Georgie stands on the porch, watching the scene unfold in front of her. Her heart pounds in her chest, she's dreamed of this moment before, imagined what it would be like if Ty somehow miraculously came back. But now that it's real, she doesn't know what to do. Her voice is soft, hesitant. Ty. She can barely say his name. She feels like a child again, that same lost little girl who found a family at Heartland. Ty had been like a big brother to her, a mentor, a role model, and then he was gone. Her legs feel weak as she takes a step forward. Part of her wants to be angry, she had mourned him, she had told herself to accept that he was gone. But now tears spill down her cheeks as she finally moves, and without thinking, she runs into his arms. Ty wraps her in a tight hug, his own eyes glassy with emotion. I missed you, Georgie, he says, his voice thick with emotion. She lets out a shaky breath, pressing her face into his shoulder. I thought we lost you forever, she whispers. And in that moment, she lets herself believe this isn't a dream. Tim Fleming has never been the best at handling emotions. He's brash, he's stubborn, he hides his pain behind tough words. But when he sees Ty standing there, his first instinct is not relief, it's fury. Tim storms toward him, his eyes blazing with emotion. What the hell is this? Some kind of joke? His voice is sharp, filled with years of pain, regret, and confusion. Do you have any idea what you put my daughter through? He demands. Do you have any idea how hard she fought to move on, how much she's been hurting? Ty doesn't flinch, he stands his ground, letting Tim's anger wash over him. I know, he says softly. I never wanted to hurt her. Tim clenches his jaw, his hands shake at his sides. He wants to hit something, yell, demand more answers. But underneath the anger is something else. He takes a deep breath, his voice thick with unspoken emotions. If you're back, then you better prove to me that you're not going to break her heart all over again. And with that, Tim walks away, leaving Ty standing in the middle of the ranch he once called home. Ty Borden's return to Heartland is nothing short of a miracle. For years, Amy has lived with the pain of losing him. She has carried their love in her heart, raising their daughter Lindy with the strength of a mother who had no choice but to keep going. But now he's standing in front of her. Her heart races, her breath catches, she wants to run to him, to feel his arms around her, to hear his heartbeat against her ear. But she doesn't move because the pain is still there, the betrayal, the years of grief, the countless nights she cried herself to sleep thinking she'd never see him again. And now he's here, alive. Tears fill her eyes, but she doesn't let them fall, not yet. "Tell me this isn't a dream," Amy says, her voice barely above a whisper. Ty takes a shaky breath, his voice raw with emotion. "It's not a dream, Amy. It's me. I'm here." Amy looks down at their joined hands, her fingers twitching against his. This moment leaves us with our final mystery box. Will Amy ever fully forgive Ty and let him back into her life? As we conclude this emotional journey through Season 19, Episode 1 of Heartland, we're left with more questions than answers. Will the Heartland family be able to heal and move forward together? Will Ty's return bring them closer or drive them further apart? The only way to find out is to keep watching. So, if you're as captivated by this story as I am, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more updates and analysis. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video,